right, we're going to be starting early here. We're going to skip a little bit of this intro. OPVs is going to be addressing your comments. Sorry, guys, we're running a little bit late today because I am trying to restart my sleep cycle from waking up at 5 in the morning until going to bed at 11 p.m. So it's a bit of a shift, a little bit of a shift. Also, we went a little long on TikTok because we had some deep questions coming in. It got a little real on TikTok. OPV should be addressing the chat now. Let me get my phone up so I can see you guys in the chat, and then we will turn this thing on live here. Well, I mean, obviously we're still live, but we'll actually start the show. If you do want to get a live wizard reading, make sure you're liking and sharing that stream, and then let us know in the chat. OPVs will have you on the list. Oh, okay. I guess Facebook no longer lets me open YouTube in app. Okay. Real cool. Really cool, Facebook. Keep up the good work. My gosh, what in the world? Oh, well, hopefully we don't get popped for that. And there we go. Chat is up. I can see you all in the chat now. Welcome, everybody. How is it going? And now I'm hearing my own voice. What a burden. Let's get this. This is why we have the long intro. I'm having my friend join. Awesome. Singing H Bear. Welcome, welcome. Hey, how's it going, Vera? How's it going, everybody? And let's go live right about now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ask a Wizard. As you may notice, the content is not on the screen, but now it is. Boom, sort of. It's not in presentation form. How is it going, everyone? Welcome, welcome to Ask a Wizard. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Georgia Guidestones, a cryptid known as the giant snake, and we're going to be doing an illusion where you will see your face melt in the mirror. Now, to take part in the experiment for the magic later on, you will need to have access to a room with a mirror and a light so that you can see your face in it. So if you wanted to take part in the experiment, you can do this with a pocket mirror. You can do this within a bathroom mirror. Any mirror will work as long as you can see your face, and we will be doing that illusion later on. If you don't, you'll just have to trust the comments that they are experiencing some truly paracosmic phenomenon. And let's get some welcomes going on here for Singing H Bear. How's it going? Corinne. Hello, Corinne. How's it going? Hello, Owl. Hello, Vera. How are you doing? Me eating to the bathroom, but that will be later on, Vera, just so you know. Gaming with OMG. I was the third one here. Awesome, Gaming OMG. Did you want a reading? Let us know. Sing H Bear's there. Awesome. All right, let's get started with today. So, starting off strong with the weekly weird. A California man has been living in an airport for months because he's too scared to fly. So, the story is, this man has been living for months now inside of a airport because he's just too spooked. He's just too scared. And of course, obviously, I tell you, there's a man scared in an airport to fly, right? What's the first thing you know? He's got to be from California. Only California could produce such a weak person as this. And, oh, by the way, speaking of California, on this photo here, I took a picture of a one-bedroom apartment in LA. It's going for about $10,000 a month. This is the nice area. So if you guys are interested in moving to LA, this is what you're going to get. This is a one-bedroom apartment here, $10,000 a month. That's not counting utilities, which can be anywhere from $300 to $6,000, depending on what they decide to charge you that month. So if you're looking for a one-bedroom apartment in LA, this is this is like upper class living right here. So if you're interested, check that out. So the sources of his fear ranged quite wildly. Some of them are that he's afraid to get on the plane because it's just not safe to be on a plane, thinks it's going to crash. Two, he's afraid he's going to get the flu, so he's freaking out about getting the flu. And one of the other ones he had was that he's afraid of being mistreated by the staff. Now, This particular one I found interesting because I don't know if you've been watching all these viral clips going around, but flight attendants have decided to declare themselves civil servants recently and are now calling themselves honorary Marines, apparently. And this is due to the government unofficially giving these $25 an hour workers a major power trip with this whole beer sniffle virus nonsense. So the government gives these guidelines. You don't even have to follow them. And now they think that they're like part of the militia. It's pretty intense, and they've been treating some people really bad on airplanes, so maybe he's a little right to be concerned by it. But you know, you're a man, you shouldn't be afraid. What's the worst they're gonna do? Kick you off the plane? You're already not flying, bud. It's not that big a deal. But this really ties back to the point of last week. A lot of people are worried about these weak, stupid, morally corrupt members of California coming to your state and just ruining it. And just remember, guys, they can't grow their own food. They don't have their own communities. And they're too scared to fly in a plane. You don't need to be worried about them. They're going to take care of themselves. Don't worry, anybody. If you're worried about those things, don't be. And now that we've covered all that's important in the news, let's move on to Build, Grow, and Create. This is how to make kimchi even if you aren't Korean. This is the segment where I highlight someone that is on YouTube that I think is crushing, doing an amazing job, and I think that you guys would really benefit from checking them out. These are wholesome people. They don't talk about politics. They don't talk about poisonous ideas. They don't talk about any of that crap. What they do is instead teach you how to build, grow, and create the beautiful, the good, and the true. And today we're checking out kimchi and Korean cooking with Kimchi. Yeah. Oh, do you hear that? Did you hear that expression of joy? That is the mere mention of her name causes Alex to explode in laughter and joy and happiness. It's 11:14. Vlone, what up?
I was looking at the chat too.
Yeah.
So I kind of heard you talking in the back.
Oh yeah.
You say your name and I'm like, oh.
How's the chat? Is there anything we need to address? Any quick comments, concerns?
Saying hi to people.
Awesome. All right. Well, you let me know if I got anything you need my input on. I'll hop on over to that. So let's take a look here. Now, again, we're not going to watch the full video here. You should go. I just want to let you know where to go to subscribe and give you an idea of just a quick little sample of what we're looking at here. No, I don't want to buy Marvel Studios. What is this? Why are you showing me old-timey commercials? What in the world is this? Gosh, this is disgusting. Ugh. Must be a Disney Plus thing if they're showing that kind of crap. Ugh. Can't think of anyone worse at building products than Disney Plus. More like Disney Joke. It's funny because they're failures. So anyway, you can go and figure out how to learn. Well, first off, let's start off with this. Did you know that Korean food is known for being some of the healthiest food around? And it is filled with fermented foods, which are known for having high quality vitamins and beneficial, it's called gut flora, I believe. They also emphasize a large quantity of vegetables, and typically their food is much lower calories than what you have in a traditional American meal as well. And so if you're looking for a delicious and healthy way to explore a new culinary culture, Korean cooking is a really great place to start. Now, thanks to this wonderful YouTuber here, this is Kimchi, you can start cooking gourmet level Korean food in no time at all and start exploring authentic Korean dishes. So if you want to try your chance at making homemade healthy Korean food, you should stop by Kimchi's YouTube channel. Now, give her a sub. Plus, she also has some less than healthy options if you want to treat yourself as well that are pretty delicious. I mean, check this girl out. She's got 5.26 million subs. She has 19.8 million views on this video. This is how to make traditional kimchi. Alex can attest to this. She made it, PVs I should say, made these herself following this exact guide. We make an authentic, delicious kimchi at home, and it is fantastic. And so kimchi is a fermented dish. So this can take cabbage, which would go bad pretty quickly, and it can make it last for months. You can have it in a jar, and it doesn't not only does it last, it actually gets better, and it's a perfect side dish. You can put this as a side dish to a meat. You can use this as a topping on a hot dog. People will put this over rice. There's a whole bunch of different uses that you can do for kimchi, and this is just one of the many things that she recommends. So she says here, putting it on pancakes, dumplings, fried rice, a lot of hot dogs, things of that as well. So if you're interested in learning how to cook this kind of food, really great place to check out. She also emphasizes a lot of healthy, fresh ingredients and making everything from scratch. So I really appreciate that style because it'll teach you how to cook really well. So that is Minchi. I hope you guys enjoy her. She's awesome. And we're going to move on to the next show. Or the next segment. Let's go. All right. So this is Incredible Videos. This is a grizzly bear has a last minute change of heart. So this grizzly bear is ready to go. He has decided in his heart he's going to kill you. You're going to die. He's already emotionally prepared for it. But at the last moment, God just intervenes and goes, yo, bro, you don't need to do it. So here's the grizzly. It is so amazing how fast of a U-turn these grizzlies can go on an emotional side of things. It really blows my mind how they just go from, oh, this is a really lovely bush to it's time to murder. It's really intense. Here we go. We're gonna get that started here in 3, 2, and 1. Oh, nice tree. Boom! Now he's ready. He's done. He's coming for you. He's gonna kill you. He's chasing you down. It's all over. And just when you think it's all over, oh, you know what? That's a nice bush. Never mind. I changed my mind. Nice bush. How's it going, guys? Yeah, I'm not going to kill you anymore. I changed my mind. Yeah. Just don't mind me. Nothing to see here. Just a bear doing bear things. I mean, look at the shoulders on that thing. Oh my gosh. That just rage on his back. He would... Oh, his head is like 3 times the size of a human's. Oh, did you see how fast he ran, too? Like, at any moment. Just look at that. He's just a big old dog just doing the shakos. And that's it. That girl's face. That girl's face. My gosh. Let's give this woman props. This woman right here. Poker Face of the Year award goes to this girl right here at the end. I am so proud of her. Look at that. She's staring death in the face. It's literally 3 meters away. Look at that. Just, oh, nothing to see here. Not going to scream or freak out. Very, very proud of her. Good job. You are a legend. And that is the grizzly encounter for you guys. Pretty intense, but he had a last minute change of heart. He decided he's not going to murder everyone. So let's thank the grizzly for changing his mind at the last minute there. Those things are scary, man. They're so big. It's just intense. And with that, let's move on to our next segment. Histories, Mysteries. The Georgia Guidestones. Dun dun dun. Alright, so the Georgia Guidestones are a very, very weird situation, let me tell you. They're often referred to as the Southern Stonehenge. However, unlike Stonehenge, these were made just 40 years ago, and they were made out of solid granite. And they are linked to all sorts of paranormal and occult. I still can't believe Russia fights bears, but America runs away from bears when they... What the heck? What in the world? Oh, boy. Connection's lost. Dang it. Let me hop in here.
Seems like you're back. You're back.
Boom. Oh, are we back? All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, I was just letting you know. It looked like our internet kicked it out. If you could get the thing back up there. Russia has vodka and shares it with bears. They're bros. We actually covered that. Was one of the first stories we ever covered. We should redo that for the news segments. The Russian soldier, the elite Russian soldier of the Russian army.
Which one?
That smoked cigarettes and drank vodka.
Oh.
We should cover it. I can't spoil it, but we'll cover that again for it. We're definitely going to bring that up for you. Yeah. Well, for one thing, there's a big difference between the black bear and the brown bear. So the black bear, like a black bear, you can kind of wrestle with and play around, especially if it's domesticated. Brown bears are so big, though. It's scary. All right, so we're back up. We're live. Let's go back. So the Georgia Guidestone. They appeared 40 years ago. They're made out of solid granite. It's known as the Southern Stonehenge, and it's linked to paranormal and occult groups all around. No one knows who placed the stones, and they were placed in 1979. And these stones were built to survive like major earthquakes. This thing is built solid. The reason nobody knows is that the person who purchased the land, purchased the granite, and hired the workers was a man named R.C. Christian, which it turns out was a pseudonym, and that he had this thing built by people, and he bought the land from people, and he did it all under this pseudonym and never told them what his plan was for any of the stuff. So he kept it all a secret. So not the people who sold the land, not the people who built it, none of them knew what the purpose was behind this or who was funding it. They all thought it was this guy named R.C. Christian, who was he was a fake. And so what he did is on these stones, he carved into the granite in multiple languages list of rules for a future society. Now, the immediate thing that people are thinking when they see this is, a guy is carving rules of list of how to live in all these different languages. The first thing they're thinking is, okay, so this is probably a marketing stunt, right? Well, what makes this very interesting is R.C. Christian, made it a part of his agreement with building this structure that you are not allowed to sell any merchandise, open any store, or sell anything related to this. So he basically set up an anti-tourist destination. He said you cannot sell a single thing relating to these stones. So it really kind of pushes away the idea that this was a marketing and publicity stunt, because he basically shot himself in the foot and said you're not allowed to do that. You just can't. And some people think that perhaps what it is there's a time capsule buried inside that has the true origins of who built it. But if you could change that real quick. But I think whether or not we know who it is, we can look and read the Georgia Guidestones and see what rules he put down. And let's be frank here, they're pretty crazy. So he set up rules for a future post-apocalyptic future. So it was like this, basically trying to model the 10 Commandments, but replacing them with their own. And that's a big red flag. If you're a follower of wizardry, if you know philosophy, you know Satan cannot really create things. He's not good at making things. He's only good at taking things that already exist and then twisting them, inverting them, changing them. So I already set off a red flag for me. It's like, okay, so you're trying to make your own 10 Commandments, but you're trying to make yourself the God of the commandments rather than actual God. Not a good start. Other interesting factors about these rocks is that they are built as a calendar, a clock, and a compass as well. So they function as a compass, a clock, and a calendar. And so there's some bizarre astrology connected to this setup as well. Now, when we actually look at the rules, they're pretty crazy. They're pretty crazy indeed. In fact, they kind of line up with what you would expect some satanic governments to be proposing. So some of the rules include reducing the population to below 10%. So the first rule is to just commit a mass genocide. Really crazy, right? So this first thing off the bat is he wants to do the greatest genocide of all time. Horrifying stuff. The second rule is to create a universal language, like the Tower of Babel. So it's like, so right off the bat, you're like, all right, so we've inverted the concept of the 10 Commandments. We're calling for mass genocide and a universal language, which is a model of the Tower of Babel. Not off to a strong start at all. The third rule we'll look at is to make sure that you control people's faith, passion, and traditions. So it's advocating for government control over people's religion, their feelings of passion, and their traditions. So just absolutely insane. Then it goes even further, and it says what needs to happen is you need to establish a one world government for the entire world. And you're like, have you read any history book? That's like nothing. Every single time you try to make government more powerful, it ends in mass genocide. But when you look back at principle number 1, mass genocide, maybe that's the play, right? One world government kills everybody, right? It then goes on to tell people they should sacrifice their freedoms for the collective, which, you know, you're not a human being. You're just a bug in a hive. Never forget, you're not an individual with a soul. You're a bug in a hive, and your life is expendable. You know, like the other 90% of people we want to kill off. Insanity. Insanity. The next one is very odd, because this one, and this is another really great testament to how Satan works. Because, as we told you, Satan cannot create. He takes and he inverts and he distorts. He doesn't make anything new. He doesn't build, he doesn't grow, and he doesn't create. And what he always tries to do with these deceptions and lies is they will be founded with an element of truth. And this allows people to ignore all the insanity of the other stuff and just focus in on that. Oh, well, that's true. That's a good point. And that's kind of what we see being put in this rule here, which is to prize the beautiful, good, and true, which is a direct, it's a nearly direct quote. It's a direct reference for sure to the Bible. And so with this particular rule, you're seeing that element of, oh, well, that's a good thing. Yeah, we really should celebrate the beautiful, the good, and the true. That's what the Bible says to do. But didn't you just advocate for genocide? Didn't you just advocate for controlling people's faith, passion, and traditions? Didn't you just say you want to establish a one-world government and the individuals don't matter? It's all a collective hive mind anyway. And so that's where you see this popping up. Finally, this is where you see Satan's hatred of humanity really bleeding through in this list, is the final rule, which literally directly says, don't be cancer to the world. So he's literally comparing the human race to cancer. It's just the most sick and vile and anti-human thing you could possibly... And this is where it makes you think. This has to be written by either someone who worships Satan or a demon, because that level of hating a human, you can't hate that much. Like, if you hated humans that much, I would assume you'd kill yourself. If you look at the world and think human beings are cancer, well, then you're cancer. Shouldn't you die? Like, I would think that would be your logical flow. It just seems like it has to come from a demonic source there. And then, counterintuitively, a complete logical contradiction, it then says support nature in the same sentence. Don't be cancer to the world. Support nature, and then it repeats it again. Support nature. Well, human beings are nature. And also, cancer's in nature. So why are we not supporting that nature? Why do we get to selectively choose what is and what isn't nature? Huh? And so that's what you get for the Georgia Guidestones. Absolute craziness, absolute insanity. We don't know who got this. We don't know who set this up. And so there's a lot of theories going around. Some people say it's poorly read and poorly educated hippies. Sounds a lot like what a lot of stupid hippies were saying back in the 70s and 80s, right? Could it be a proclamation of Satan's ideals? Could this be a group of people that worship Satan that are put this together and set it up? Other people have said that perhaps this was a guy who was obviously not educated well, poorly read, just repeating talking points of the day, and was preparing for nuclear war. So it's kind of like, oh, I'm setting up for another future so that people will live a better life, not realizing, he's just preaching outright Satanism. And so those are the different theories that people have, and no one really knows what's going on here. But as you can see, pretty creepy stuff. And this is over in Georgia, just set up there. It's just sitting there. Really weird. And so that is today's History's Mysteries, the Georgia Guidestones. What do you think? What is your insights? We got questions going in the chat. Anything from you?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Nothing? Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. And oops, say hi to your cat for me. What? I don't have a cat. Okay, Cuddles. Hi, Cuddles. Oh, gotcha. Trenton has a cat. Oh, let me guess. Yeah. OPVs has been getting inquisitive about it, right?
What color is your cat?
Oh my gosh. Obeeves wants to know what color Trenton's cat is. I'm going to go with brown. My sleep rhythm is just, oh, you're telling me, Varys. We literally have been staying up till 5 in the morning. And we literally just didn't sleep for 48 hours straight so that we could fall asleep at 11 p.m. so that we could have a normal sleep cycle established. Like, we literally just did it's like that old meme. We ate our way through to the other side. It's like, we literally just got so sleepy that we were able to sleep our way through to a healthy sleep cycle. Theoretically, we'll see how it works. That being said, I still slept like 3 hours during the day today. It was crazy. But it's a valid tactic. It's a good strategy. It seemed to work. And with that, let's move on to the next segment, which is another incredible video. This is some rare footage of a snow leopard attacking people. This is not normal. This is very, very rare to actually be able to see a snow leopard like hunting in the wild. So it's pretty cool that they were able to catch this. Snow leopards are already very uncommon animals here in America, so to be able to see one in the wild is usually rare, and to see one going like this, even rarer. So we're going to check this out. Well, good old God broke Lucifer's heart. Like, he did break Lucifer's heart. If you've read Paradise Lost, it's actually a really beautiful it's a really beautiful book that I think helps people showcase the psychology and perspective of Lucifer, and seeing what is his point. It's not like he's just the bad man. He has arguments. He has solid points, and in a lot of ways it's the sin of Cain and Abel. It's like, why would you choose them over me? And why do you put them above me? Why should I let these beings who haven't lived for long lead over me? I'm eternal. I was here when you built the kingdoms. And he has solid complaints, but he falls for the sin of pride, which is what Satan's big thing is. The sin of pride is, you aren't God. Sorry, like that's it. You're not God. And that's just the way it is. What's up? Drink coffee. The is not real. The way the world was made is with God, and Satan made it together. No, definitely not. Not even close. The world was made by God, and then people corrupted it, and now Satan rules over this kingdom, and so he doesn't create anything. He only inverts and destroys. He's the inverter. He's the adversary. All right, let's take a look at snow leopards. So these guys are just skiing through, which, my goodness, doesn't this look beautiful?
It does. Looks like what we want to.
It is. This Alex and I actually went through something like this over here in Montana. I didn't know you could ski so close to trees. So we're just doing a little skiing here. Now, we're going to play a lovely game here. Spot the monster that could kill you in a heartbeat. Anybody? Anyone see the monster that could kill you at any time? Don't worry. It's going to show itself eventually. So the girl down here is losing her mind because she can see it from the angle she's at. The guy standing here cannot see the snow leopard that is maybe 50 feet from him. He's here for a while. Anyone still see it? He's gotten closer to it. I'll let you know that. He's stopping to take a picture to see if he can find it. Can you believe, like, this is a creature that can just slash your face instantly, bite your neck, you're dead. This thing is no joke, and it's completely concealed here. You can't see it at all. Boom, right there. So that little log sitting on the ground this whole time, that's the mountain lion. Boom. And it starts chasing the girl as well who's skiing. Oh my gosh. And so they all start shouting at it and yelling it to freak it out, which, by the way, very smart play. That's the right play in this situation. And that's it. That's the whole encounter. They get chased by the snow leopard. But isn't that insane that we could sit there for a solid 2 minutes staring directly at the face of this lion and not even see it?
It looked like a log.
It looks exactly like a log, right? You would never look at that as you're walking by and be like, ah, look at that deadly monster that's going to kill me if it's hungry. No, and it is. It's chasing her down on the skis. It does seem like the snow impedes them, though, because she was able to move quite a bit faster than on her skis than them walking through the snow. So that's kind of impressive. Good fact to note. And that, my friends, is the encounter with the rare footage of a snow leopard. Because I always wondered, like looking at this picture here of the snow leopard, that doesn't look like it would blend in well with the snow, right? You don't look at that and think, oh yeah, that's clearly camouflage for the snow. But when you see how they actually utilize it, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. It's pretty clever. What do we got going on here? Is it weird that I have a Glock, a cup of vodka right next to... You have a Glock and a cup of vodka. Well, obviously, if you're not Russian, then I'm disappointed. What you should have is obviously a Walther PPK and American whiskey. Honestly, you should be doing Tennessee whiskey, Jack Daniels. But aside from that point, no, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. If you're Russian, then comrade, thank you very much. You guys seem to be doing things better as a country than America is nowadays. So congratulations, you're crushing. And could I get citizenship, please? Do you guys accept wizards? I would love. I already live in Montana, so I'm ready. I'm ready for Russia. It wouldn't even. You guys would be like a summer holiday compared to what we go through here. All right, let's move on to the next segment, which is Magic Illusion and the Arcane Arts. All right, in today's Magic Illusion and the Arcane Arts, I'm going to be showing you a Chessboard Illusion. I'm going to be showing you magic from the Great Cardini, and I'm going to be doing an illusion that will cause your face to melt at home. Now, to take part in that illusion, you will need a mirror to look into, and you can just hold the phone or have your speakers on to hear my voice. And what's going to happen is you will actually look in the mirror, and your face will begin to get distorted, and then it will actually change into what looks like another person's face. It's a very scary paracosm. However, it will go right back to normal. Some people claim that the faces will start talking and saying things. If that happens, let us know. But keep in mind, this is not conjuring spirits. We are not talking to angels or demons or anything like that here. This is what's known as a paracosm. This is a psychological effect that I induce through a shared psychological experience. So while it can be a little scary, know that you're in full control of this at all times. If at any point you want the illusion to go away, all you have to do is close your eyes, look away, blink a few times, look back, and everything will be back to normal. So we're going to be doing that later on. You will have to look into a mirror to make it work, though, so just a heads up. So let's start off here with the Chessboard Illusion. This one's really a really cool optical illusion. It just kind of shows us how our eyes can perceive things, patterns that are outside reality. But in a way, they aren't outside reality so much as they are a new perception of reality. I won't do that because it's magic, messes with my mind, and voodoo dolls are all over the Russian place. Yeah, don't worry about it, Trenton. If it spooked you, do not feel, if it's something that's too scary for you or anything, don't do it at all. It's perfectly fine. It's just, that's why I want to give a little disclaimer so that people don't get too freaked out. Sometimes people take it a little too seriously, and I like to let them know. So this is the checkerboard illusion. So what looks here, pretty distorted looking checkerboard. It kind of looks like it sucks in a little bit. Well, wait. No, I don't want to win a PS5. Get out of here. Once he holds a magnet over those little pieces, check out what happens. I love the Minecraft peaceful music. It's now completely straight and orderly. Isn't that weird? Here's it in slow motion. So that bent and wobbly lines just go right to a normal straight checkerboard, just like that. Isn't that weird? So that is the Checkerboard Illusion. It's so bizarre how your eyes can literally change and go from seeing one thing to another in real time. You're literally watching it change. Kind of like what you're going to see happen in the mirror in just a minute. Minyungi says, shocked face. Whoa. I know how it works. Yes, it's an optical illusion. Who is the little dogs that make it so it looks like it's going on? I'm not sure what you're talking about. It's actually kind of a tradition. Get a routine down in a trade them.
For Voodoo Dolls.
Oh, Voodoo Dolls. Interesting. I do an effect relating to that, but it's a little different than that. Yeah, no, it's a little spooky. All right, I used to do it in my live show. It was cool. Like, you would take the doll and you would stab the doll, and then open up the chest, and inside the dolls would have like blood on the spot that they stabbed. It was cool. All right, so that's my magic thing that I do. Back when live magic shows were legal, apparently. All right, so the next person we have up here is the Great Cardini from the 1957. Now, I highly recommend giving this guy here, Road to Wisdom, a subscribe if you're interested in this kind of thing. Thank you so much for providing this to the world. This is stuff that would have been lost to history if it wasn't for people like Road to Wisdom putting it out and letting more people know the name of the Great Cardini. And we're going to be checking out his performance here. This is just such a classic of magic that I feel like we've lost as an art, really, is this this classy piece. It's not just a magic show. It's an act of theater, and I really appreciate that element. Just throws her the newspaper. My goodness. He's so good at it. Look at that legend. Just crushing. So different than what you see on this America Got Talent and this and YouTube and whatnot. Nowadays it's just like, look, I'm making lots of cards appear. Isn't it really cool? Look, I made a lot of cards appear here and a lot of cards appear here. And now it's not. It doesn't have that elegance. It doesn't have that classiness to it. I love this theatrical presentation. Wow. I think I need a cane like that. What do you think?
Yeah.
I love the monocle too. I like the girl who's just sitting there like, okay, so you're gonna pick up the mess though, right? Like, you just threw like 1,000 cards on the ground, man. What the heck? He pulls him out to fan himself. Oh, that's interesting. So because it's an older camera, you know, he's doing a card spring here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we have a more modern camera, so this might look a little better. So he's doing that. But with his cards here, because it's an older camera, you can actually see the riffles of the cards in between. And so that's really interesting because you can almost see the frame of it. Check that out. You see how the cards like stick in the air? It's neat. Like versus on the camera, it's probably like a stream. But with his, you can actually see them like in their chunks. This is probably a nerdy magic detail that only I would notice. He's shrinking the deck. Little baby cards. Wow. And now they're back to full size. She's like, can we catch him in the newspaper, please? No, not at all. We're just gonna keep adding to the mess. Okay, all right then. Picks up a fan off the ground. Wow. Hey! He's got another one. Man. Wow. Hey, still got cards. Wow. Crushing the legendary, amazing Cardini. And I think you can figure out why he's called Cardini. He does a lot of card stuff, man. The dude's just got cards everywhere. And such a beautiful little piece right there. Thank you very much, Cardini, for your wonderful work and contributions to the art of magic. You are a legend, and more people should know your name, and that is why you are here, sir. All right, let's see. Now it is time for the face melting illusion. All right, so to take part in this particular effect, you will need to have access to a mirror. And what we're going to do is you can listen to my voice as I say the things out loud. And what's going to happen is you're going to experience a very strange optical illusion. Now, the most effective way to make this work is to turn the lights off and then to have a light underneath you. That's the most powerful way to do it. However, you can do this by simply having the lights on and looking in the mirror. It just won't be as powerful of an effect. It works either way. And so what we're going to do here, is something going on? Oh, okay. All right. It's a group of famous TikTokers like the most followed ones. Neat. What's that?
Hype House?
What was that?
I guess it's called Hype House.
Oh, Hype House. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not familiar with any other TikTokers, actually. I just make cool stuff, guys. Everyone... It really sucks because with blowing up on TikTok, everyone's like, yes, a famous person. I'm like, no, please do not think of me that way. I just want 1,000 people who are awesome and to hang out with, call them the Owls, and then that's it. I don't want any of that stuff. I just make cool things, and unfortunately some people love it, and then I just keep building it. It's a curse. I am not a influencer. I don't want to lead. I'm a wizard. I like to build cool things and get cool people together. All right, so I think that should give us enough time for you guys to get to your mirrors. And so for this effect, what you're going to do is try to blink as little as possible during it. If you do need to blink, that's fine. Blink when you need to, but try to blink as little as possible. And to make this work, what you're going to do is get in front of your mirror. And in a moment, I'm going to tell you to start trying not to blink. A good way to blink less is to close your eyes first. and then open your eyes when you're ready. And so you're standing in front of your mirror with your eyes closed. And what you're going to do is open your eyes in just a minute here. And when you open your eyes, I want you to look into your left eye. And then what you're going to do is, once you've looked into the left eye, you're going to switch to the other eye. So we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. So you should be looking into your left eye and then switching to your right eye now. And as you're doing that, focus on the eye and then just allow your eyes to relax. And as you're staring at your eye, you're going to start to notice that the face in your peripheral vision starts to get a little bit blurrier as you look into the eye and you're staring into your own eye and just focusing and relaxing on it and trying your best to not blink. And once you start to see it go out of focus, it's going to feel odd for me to say this, but when it actually happens, you'll know what I mean. And what I want you to do is, as it gets distorted, I want you to then increase the distortion by thinking about it. Literally think about the distortion becoming more and more blurred. And what will begin to happen is you'll notice your face will actually become very blurred, almost to the face where you don't have a mouth, a nose, anything at all. And it can be a little alarming during this time. And then all you need to do at this point now is, once you experience that feeling now, I want you to switch to your other eye again. You'll notice your face will structure back, and then you can blink and open your eyes again, staring at that new eye, and you'll see that your face shapes and changes into another face. Now at this point, you will be looking at your own eye, but seeing another person's face. You may hear it say something. It might talk. It might move. These are all normal experiences that you might occur. And if those alarm you or scare you, remember, at any time you can close your eyes, look away, blink a few times, and it will be gone. But for those of you who are choosing to go along with this now, you'll start to see that happening now in 3, 2, 1. You should start to see a new face coming through. You can take a moment to appreciate it. See if you get any message. And then, in a moment, you can just go ahead and close your eyes and count back from 3 to 1. Closing your eyes. 3, 2, 1. You can open your eyes again, looking back at yourself in the mirror, and you'll see that your face is now back to normal. All of that has gone away, and you have now experienced the face that melts illusion. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's see what your guys' experience was in the comments below. Let's see what you guys felt, and let's see how that worked for you guys. Oh no, I sleep in front of a mirror. Uh-oh, Min Yugi. Is anyone doing this? Hopefully you are, Min Yugi. You're sitting in front of a mirror. OPBs, was your experience fantastic? Amazing?
I don't have a mirror.
Oh, no. Well, let's see. Do we have anyone else who tried it? I want to know how cool it is. Well, Minu, try it out for yourself, and let's see. Trenton says, I meant martinis. My goodness. What do I say is weird, because whenever they're on Friends or Brothers Die, they were... Wait, what's going on? No idea either. Okay. Just heard. All right, let's see. I feel sick, but I'm gonna be right back. All right, Singing H Bear. I hope that didn't make you sick, but it does sound like you had a cool experience with it. Hopefully it didn't turn into a scary monster. Maybe it looked a little scary. Let's see in the comments. Singing H Bear, it looks like it worked. I feel like I should. My teacher did this and it worked. Awesome. So I've been having experiences with that as well. Ivan is a student, by the way, apparently. Brackets. Student. Just so you know. Ivan. Student. That's interesting. Does YouTube put that on there for you? So it's looking like we're getting some cool experiences here in the chat. Awesome to see. And feel free to share it with your friends. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to show my friends this. Awesome. Mean Uni a little too scared, so she's going to put off the burden onto her friends, and she wants to see if they die first. And if they don't die, then she's going to do it. So she's going to pick the ones that are her friends. You know, that one that always takes her eraser, or that your pencil at work. You always have your pen, and then there's that person that takes your pen. They're like, well, it's community pens. No, it's not, Susan. It's not a community pen. Why'd you walk across go from your desk? Why? Because you're always losing your pen? Yeah, I thought so. Ming Yungi says yes. I looked like James Charles, and it said hi, sisters. Interesting, Trenton. Very interesting indeed. Awesome. All right, so we're getting a lot of cool experiences here. Now let's go ahead and move on to the first round of wizard readings. All right, boys and girls, the wizard readings are a go. So, to get a live wizard reading, all you need to do is like and share the stream. That qualifies you for a free live wizard reading. Also, if you'd like to get a paid reading, you can go to paypal.me/askawizard. Pay whatever you think a reading is worth, and that will qualify you for a 3-card reading. You can also send letters to P.O. Box 8881, Missoula, Montana 59807. When you send letters there, you can send financial support or not. It's up to you. But we will read your letters live on air. You can send anything you want there as long as it's legal. And we do those live on air. So if you're interested in that, send them on over to that P.O. Box. And we are working on some pretty cool stuff coming out in the future. We think we have come up with a way to help the owls make a little extra cash. So we're going to be talking about that once we get the program set up and running. But if you have an owl name and you have been owlified in the past, if you could DM us or send a message through Facebook DM, Instagram DM, TikTok DM, anything like that, that would be very helpful for us helping the owls make a little bit of extra money in the near future. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, give us a DM. All right, who's up first? What was that? Min Yoongi. Min Yoongi is up first. Can you do a reading for me? Absolutely, Min Yoongi, you're up first. I think. All right, Vera. Yes, Vera is on the list as well. All right. By the way, after we get these wizard readings done, we're going to be looking at a crazy 200-mile-an-hour hurricane. It's insane. All right, Min Yoongi. Let's see what we got. Evie, can you push me on the reading later? Woo! Taking a look here, we got the Knight of Pentacles popping up here for you, Ming Yugi. Let's get that on the screen so you can see it. Wow. So the Knight of Pentacles here. I just realized you can see my bookshelf is tilted and our herb garden. Yeah, we're moving some stuff around. We got kale growing up here. I don't know if you can see the green sprouts here, but we have kale popping off. So the Knight of Pentacles here is about taking action on the material. So what this is saying is, we are at the point now where we actually have to start doing stuff. We can't just be thinking about it. We can't just be, my ideal is to be this one day, or, oh, a great strategy for doing it would be this, or even I feel really motivated. I can't wait. Like if you've watched like Gary Vee videos, right? Gary Vee's get you all hyped up and pumped. You're like, yeah, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to crush. I'm going to make a business. Yeah. And you get all good, but then you don't do anything. So this card is saying we need to take action. We need to start doing things in the real world. This is the thing people put off the most, and the reason why is because it comes with the cost of failure. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to suck, and that's why people avoid this. Well, turns out that's the way that you actually succeed in life, is by going and doing things in the real world, getting that hard feedback back, and then saying, okay, adapt and thrive based on the feedback. So that's what we see popping up here for you, the Knight of Pentacles. I hope that helps you out, gives you some insights, and we're going to move on to the next reading. Who's up next? Vera, you are up. Not to be confused with Veras, who's a pretty good ADC, isn't he?
Oh, Varus.
Varus is he's a good ADC on League of Legends. But we're looking at Vera. All right, Vera, what's up? What are you looking at?
The watering can on the screen is.
Oh, is the watering can like all weird? Yeah, because it's like representing the green screen, right? People are all like, "See, his bookshelf's a fake. It's a green screen, guys. I confirmed it. We know that they're not real. They're not real." You're right. What would you do if my hand just went right through the bookshelf? How freaky! Could you imagine if it was a green screen? How lame of a background I picked. Like, my background is like half soundboard, a grow light setup for kale, and then a bookshelf that's turned sideways. Best background ever. Vera, are you here? Are you here, Vera? It's time for your reading. Trenton says, how do you know that? Thank you. I do think a lot, Lavala. Yes, I would like one. Awesome. All right, Trenton, let's get you a reading. I'm a wizard. That's kind of my thing. All right, let's see here. Ming Yoongi says thank you, and I do think a lot. Laugh a lot. Awesome, glad to hear it. And there is Vera. All right, yes, I'm here. Is there anything in particular you needed insights on? I'm gonna start off with a general reading, unless there's anything in particular you're looking for insights on. All right, so we got the Lovers card popping up here. All right, so what we see popping up here is the I forgot we're on YouTube. My bad. There we go. the Lovers card popping up here for you, and so the Lovers card is a major arcana, and what it represents is being in a situation where you're overwhelmed with the feelings of love. Now, this is some of the best feelings you can have in life, but it's also important to remember that this is also a warning. This is about putting on love goggles. So, especially when we first fall in love with something, and this doesn't necessarily have to be a person. This could also be falling in love with an idea, a new project, a new concept, a new anything. It's that initial phase, usually the first 3 months. We put on love goggles and we we ignore all the flaws and we highlight all the benefits. And so during this time, while it's really fun, it feels great, it's awesome, and a very positive experience, make sure you're not making any rash decisions during this time. And ideally, you got to have someone who wants the best for you, a friend that will tell you the truth, even if they know it'll upset you. And so having a friend who will do that for you is crucial during these times, because they are a objective third party. They don't have the love goggles on, and they can go up and be like, look, I get that you really like this girl, but she's like doing crazy drugs, man. You really should stay away from her. Like, you need someone who can tell you that when you're head over heels with the person. And so that would be the warning to this card, but also the good side is it's a very positive and fun experience. So that would be my recommendation for you, Vera. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights, and we will move on to the next reading. Well, do we have something in common that we're both wizards, but I'm a dark magic wizard? Uh-oh, are you the dark magician? In attack mode with 2,500 attack points and 2,100 defense points. That's all right. You wouldn't be technically a wizard, though. You worship what's called no-ghosts. We talk about this quite often here. So there's the weaker form of magic, which is witchcraft. That's people who go and try to bend the reality to their will, which is weak and pathetic. If you don't worship truth, you worship something else. Typically, it's yourself in the case of a witch. Witchcraft is the worship of self. It's also the act of Satanism. To worship Satan is the worship of yourself, the sin of pride. And if you do, you worship the most pathetic god on the planet, which is you, compared to the Alpha and the Omega. So really not a good strategy. You will fail 100% of the time, and will always be screwed in the end. And even when you think things are going right, as you will find when you read Faust, you will find out that the things that you wished for will come back to destroy you in the end. So really recommend not going down that path. It's probably the worst thing you could do with your life. And check out Logos. Read Aristotle, read Plato, read Socrates, read Thomas Aquinas, read Marcus Aurelius, read the Bible, read C.S. Lewis. They've got some really compelling arguments, and it's a much more powerful force. So let's see. No, I'm fine with the general one. Awesome. Is there anything else that we... who was up next? Trenton. Is there anything in particular you'd like some insights on? Well, thank you very much. No problem at all, Vera. Well, in the dark magic case, with me being a Russian with the powdered vodka is all I need for my voodoo stuff. I make voodoo dolls and all that kind of stuff. For me and my friend, vodka solves all my problems. Well, no, it doesn't. So there's a reason why vodka is called a spirit. It's if you're going to a spirit for a solution to your problems, you're doing an act of divination to the demon of greed. and or of lust, or sorry, my gosh, gluttony. There we go. So you're literally going to one of the 7 deadly sins and asking for them to solve your problems, and they will solve your problems at a great cost, usually at the cost of your friends, your family, your health, your livelihood, everything. And that's how Satan works. They give you what you want at great cost. So be careful with what spirits that you're trying to commune with. There's only one spirit you should be involved with, and it's the Holy Spirit. All right, let's see here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is popping up here for Trenton. So what we see coming up is the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords here, right there, is about inexperience with logos. And so what this is saying is that right now you're in a phase in your life where everyone goes through this, and it's the beginning of an intellectual journey. It's where you've gained some knowledge. The common expression people use for this phase is just enough knowledge to be dangerous. And people mistake this. They think just enough knowledge to be dangerous in the sense that they are dangerous in the fact that they can contribute to the conversation. That's not what the expression means. It's just enough knowledge to be dangerous to yourself, because you are able to then think you know the thing when you don't know the thing. And that's a very dangerous position to be in. However, everyone goes through this experience. Everybody goes through this phase of learning when you do a new craft. You know, I've experienced this a lot from video games. When you get to the point where all of a sudden you think you understand the game, but you're still in the bottom tiers of the video game. Like with us in League of Legends, you're in the bronze. And then you have my brother who's like Masters Diamond. He's all champ, winning tournaments, and I know enough to play the game and not lose every time in my league, but I don't know anything about the game. You know, it's like it's not even close. And so what this card really helps with doing is saying it's okay to be in this phase. This is normal. This is what everyone goes through, but understand it's something that happens, and then go and seek to continue growing in your knowledge, seek new wisdom, gain new information. And that will help you get through this time and get you to the next step, which is the Three of Swords, which is usually a painful emotional experience. And that's why a lot of people get stuck in this phase, because once you realize how little you know, it's that Socrates thing. I know I'm the wisest man because I know nothing. When you realize how little you know, it can be a pretty painful experience, but it's also a very transformational experience that puts you on a new intellectual journey. So that's the reading I got there for you, Trenton. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights. What up, man? How's it going? One question, since technically if I make a video is the dark magic, but if I make them with the power of anyone trying to hurt the people, no. So it doesn't matter what you're doing with the dolls. Either way, if you're trying to bend reality to your will, whether it would be for good or evil, you're still doing evil. That's the thing. You can't try to bend the world to your will. Your will doesn't matter. The logos matters. The truth, the light, the way. What is true? Worshipping truth. So trying to reveal truth rather than to bend the world away from truth. All right, who's up next? I saw we just lost a ton of people. Is that, was there outage?
I don't think so.
Okay. Who's up next?
Aiden just hopped on the list. So.
Aiden, okay. Was that our third reading though?
Trenton was.
Okay. Well, let's get Aiden's reading, and then we will move on to the. Oh my screen is black right now. I think that might be why we just lost a bunch of people. Okay, I'm back. Do EVs whenever mine? Are you able to send any messages to them? Yeah. Are you able to see my screen? Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, I just lost. You're a wizard, right? Well, that's something that that I noticed about you is since you're technically a wizard, they predict stuff or they like help people that. No, so I don't actually make predictions. I don't make predictions. Well, I take it back. I make predictions in the logical sense, but I don't do it in like I'm not a psychic. And I help people by giving them philosophical wisdom. Philosophical wisdom is logos. It's truth truthful wisdom that is helpful for people in a variety of situations. So, for example, the way that I would predict something is like if you told me, hey, in my past I've eaten 50 Twinkies every day, or let's make it, I drink a handle of vodka every day in the past, and I've done that for 3 years. I currently drink a handle of vodka every day in my current situation. So I can make a prediction based on those two facts that you will likely continue to do that habit into the future, and it will cause disastrous health consequences and ruin your life if you continue to do that habit. So I can go and make that prediction based on the past and the present. But if you choose in that moment right now to stop that behavior, to say, wow, I can see how that path leads to hell and how horrible my life will become, you can actually see that, and you can say, what would the antithesis to be to that? What would happen if instead of having that handle of vodka every day, I took that out and instead ate healthy, nutritious vegetables, for example? You could actually imagine a world, your life, in another trajectory that would be more heaven-like. And so that's the heaven-hell dichotomy that we live in every day. Every day we make a choice to go closer to hell or heaven, and that's made day in and day out, and you can change that at any time if you seek the Lord, the truth. If you focus on the truth, you can go towards truth, or you can continue to descend into hell, which is lies and deception. And so those are the two paths that you have there. All right, Aiden, let's get you a live wizard reading. Let's go. Boom. Awesome. You and Brooke will be on second round. Thank you very much. I remember you from 2 live streams ago. Wow, awesome. What up? All right. Ooh, Aiden. All right, so you've got the death card popping up here. This is a really great card. Do not freak out. This is not a bad card. This is not a negative card. It's not a curse. It's not death. It's not bad stuff. This is actually a really great card. So what the death card represents is it's part of the major arcana. So it's a bigger picture kind of thing. And what it's saying is, what are the things in my life that are holding me back from achieving the life that I want? What are the things that I have to sacrifice and kill off? That's where the death part comes in. What parts of me do I need to kill off so that I can make the ground fertile with that dead habit so that better habits can grow through? So, for example, a death-like scenario would be kind of like what we were just talking about, really. But like, for example, if you want to be healthy, you have to sacrifice eating unhealthy food in the amount of quantity that you currently do. And you probably have to sacrifice just watching Netflix every night for watching Netflix while perhaps being on a treadmill or being active or doing a workout. So those are sacrifices that you would have to make to achieve that goal you have of healthier you. And so the death card is about bringing those things into consideration and saying, what things will I honestly, legitimately sacrifice? What am I really willing to sacrifice and give up completely so that I can be something better than who I am today? And so that's what that card's all about. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights. All right, let us be, and I think with that, that's the last reading, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
But
All right.
Trenton got his reading, but he's asking.
Yeah, Trenton, we got you a reading.
He's on the second one.
maybe a little too much of the powdered vodka. Is that what is powdered vodka? I don't know. But yeah, we did your reading just a little bit ago. That was the last reading we did before the death card. All right, let's go ahead here and move on to, these are so crazy. I know, isn't it awesome? I'm glad I'm able to help you out, Aiden, and give you the insights you're looking for. Like your water fasting. Heck yeah, Alex and I did a water fast for 11 days. Now, before I go any further, caveat, don't do that for health reasons. It's not effective for weight loss. We were doing it for more of a spiritual thing. That being said, it's also very unsafe. Talk to your doctor. Make sure you're taking vitamins and whatnot. And that is not an efficient way for losing weight in the long term at all. If you're interested in losing weight through fasting, intermittent fasting seems to be kind of okay. But again, I'm not a doctor. Talk to your doctor about it. But we had done that, and man, let me tell you, that is some crazy stuff. That will mess with your head. It's really weird to feel the pains of hunger that just come and go because you just ignore them now. It's just like, it's very interesting to subdue your appetite in that way, to just look at yourself and being like, yes, I know that I'm really hungry, but no, I refuse to listen, and then just have it go away. So that would be, that was an experience that Alexandria and I have had together. Alex went longer. She went 14 days? Yep. 14 days. I went 11 days. She went 14. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. Let's move on to the next segment here. Let's get this thing going. And the next thing up is the next incredible video. Crazy 200-mile-per-hour hurricane footage. This is some insane footage. I've never gotten a first-person view of these massive hurricanes. And this guy's just going around just filming. Just filming a hurricane. And let me tell you, it's intense. Look at that. Just blasting debris by. It's like little bullets. This one's really funny. This one, can you imagine this is you just clocked into your day at work. It's 9 a.m. Your boss is like, all right, I'm gonna go to this bank. I'm gonna go get us some 20s. All right, take care of the house. He just walked out the door. Your boss just walked out to go get 20s. You turn around and this is you. Oh my gosh. Just annihilating this restaurant here. My gosh. Oh, absolutely absurd. This lady's just getting blown away with her umbrella. Her umbrella has caused her to just get captured. Let's check this out again. just scooting away. Oh my gosh. It's just knocking over trees. It's not even a challenge for the wind. It's so crazy because it's just air. Like we breathe it all the time. We're constantly surrounded by it, but at any time God could just be like, time for you to be scared, and you're like, what is this? Oh, this one's insane. Okay, so this girl is barricaded behind the brick wall so that she doesn't get blown away in the wind. Now you might be saying, Tyler, that's absurd. She's not going to get blown away in the wind. Wait for part 2. Wait for part 2. Oh, would you look at that? Someone getting blown away in the wind and then also getting stuck in the same barricade and now is cowering as well because they also were getting blown in the wind. It's just absurd. Oh my gosh. Just knocking a construction tower down. Oh. My word. That noise. Do you hear that noise? That's so ominous. It's so... Oh, because you hear the steel just cry. Oh. Oh, it sounds like a demon horn or something. It's freaky. Oh, it sounds so terrifying. Jeez, man. This is just an apartment too. Nothing is safe. Nothing. What I really want to get props to is check out this tree. This tree that's just sitting there holding on to its leaves and not snapping. Like, these trees are apparently better built than most of these buildings. Man, God knows what he's doing when he plants these things. Let me tell you. Look at that. They're like, nope, we're just going to chill. This is just pieces of... Is this birds? I think these are birds just flying in terror. Oh, I can't even imagine. What happens to the birds in a hurricane? Jeez. You're a bird. Just...
I'm going with the wind.
Just Mach 5 pigeon. Just going through cars and stuff. Oh, gosh. And that, my friends, is a 200-mile-per-hour hurricane. Absolutely terrifying. Absolutely devastating. And next up, we have a very, very important segment, as always. Again, this is a bit of a bit, so I'm going to pretend to be very serious here for a little bit. And so, just so you guys know, give you a little heads up. Let's address the chat so I don't screw up during this one. OPV says, Giovanni says, OPVs. Okay, thank you. What I want to reassure is follow through TikTok and say what is most of the movies watch here live streaming. I'm sorry, what? Inside the boat? I think I had a little too much vodka. I can't type right now. That's all right, Trent. That's all right. Dave, that I realized that that I was a wizard and was fishing with my father and my grandpa, and then the group of birds flew around our boat. Oh, wow. That's really cool. That's kind of like Itachi. Yeah. I literally... Okay. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. We don't have very many people here in our live chat, so I'm going to reveal the secret here. And anyone who watches this in the future will know my secret. I want to start feeding all the local ravens and crows when I get my property. When I buy my land and have my own land, I want to feed them like the crazy ladies feed pigeons. And then I'm just going to walk around, because apparently ravens and crows are really smart. And so I just want to become bros with all the crows. And wherever I walk, they'll just follow me around, and because they're looking for the snackos. And they'll be like, oh, shoot, that's the wizard guy who always gives us snacks and whatnot. And so every time I'm just walking through town, just crowds of crows just circling around. It would be so legit. Tyler, how did you become a wizard? So wizardry is a traditional art that's based off of essentially, depending on how you define them, 3 or 4 categories. So first thing is understanding and practicing magic and illusion. This is what you associate with like a magician. So a magician is practicing magic and illusion. Great places to start would be like Magic for Dummies, or let's see, Mark Wilson's Complete Course to Magic is another great place to start for that kind of stuff. And then the second part is the mnemonic part. So this is using a memory system to memorize certain types of information. And so the wizard, wisdom, wizard, that's where the word comes from. Is a wizard is a keeper of wisdom. That's where whiz comes from. And so you're using a mnemonic system to memorize eclectic information that is helpful for people. And this can be whatever you decide you want it to be. So for example, some people do it with like medical knowledge, some people do it with herbs, some people do it with politics, some people do it with military strategy. There's all different kinds. And then kind of the whole competition, if you will, between wizards is like, how detailed and accurate can you be with a specific set of information, and then also how many different kinds can you do. That's where that whole different types of magic comes from, that kind of thing. And so for me, for example, I specialize currently with philosophy. Philosophy is the one I'm trying to understand and use a mnemonic system for. And there's a whole bunch of different systems for this. Some people use the palms on the palm of the hand. I use a deck of cards. Some people use what's called a memory palace. It's purely internal in their head. There's a whole bunch of different ways of doing that. And then the third part is the archetypical story. So studying and understanding the nature of archetypical stories, realizing there's an author of the world who's writing logos stories into this world, and then you take those 3 things, combine them together. I use the cold reading and magic and illusion from the magic and illusion to identify what character are you, what story are you in, and what information do you need to move forward on your hero's journey. And then that's where the mnemonic comes in. I say, okay, they are they are Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, and the problem they're dealing with is trusting in the fact that they don't have to be good enough. They may have made mistakes in the past, but they can become great through following the truth rather than being someone who is great all of the time. Just because there's mistakes in your past doesn't mean that or your family's past for that matter, doesn't mean that they have to hold you back from becoming who you truly are. In fact, they can't hold you back. And so the wisdom that I would use to help with that particular story would be going to, for example, like the multiple stories in the Bible. Like Saul is a good example. David is a good example. David, I think, would probably be the one that I would refer to in this situation, where it's this man made mistakes. This man cheated. This man killed one of his best friends. He stole his wife. This guy did a lot of things wrong, but God still said that he was a man after his own heart. And so that's a really powerful thing to know, is that God is willing to look past mistakes. And so that's an example of how wizardry works in a nutshell there. So it's just a mnemonic practice. He did what out? Tyler refuses to watch The Mandalorian. Yes, I do.
Giovanni asked if you watched The Mandalorian.
No, I do not watch The Mandalorian. I don't have time to really watch most things, and I don't watch any of the new Star Wars movies. In fact, I don't watch anything out of the original 6, frankly, and I'm not even the biggest fan of those. I'm more of a Lord of the Rings kind of guy. But Lord of the Rings is great, obviously. What am I saying? Star Wars is good. It's also got a little bit of the special boy story type, which I don't like. I'm not a fan of, I like C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia more than Star Wars. And Star Wars is just not that good in that sense. But at least with Star Wars, the special boy gets his arm chopped off and he gets kicked down a well and he goes off to a swamp and cries. That's what you're supposed to have happen in a special boy story. And you don't see that happen with Harry Potter. It's just, he's magic and perfect and he's the hero. Isn't he great? Look at his scar. He's so rich now. And it's just just so poorly.
Have you ever read Harry Potter?
I did read, I think, some of one book, and it was just so... Ugh.
Then you don't know.
Yeah, couldn't handle it.
Speak
Could not handle it.
Harry
Yeah. Lord of the Rings is fantastic.
Oh, I agree.
Lord of the Rings is one of the greatest works of fiction ever, probably. Do you want to know a secret? Bird's favorite food or watermelon seeds? Neat. Interesting. All right, so let's move on to my speech that I've been preparing this whole time. Sorry.
Well, Aiden asked any videos or books that are helpful.
Yes. So for learning how to think is the crucial start. Aristotle, Socrates, and Plato. They teach you how to think. And then for magic, Magic for Dummies. And then Mark Wilson's Complete Course in Magic. And then from there, those are going to give you the info you need to start learning your specialized books. So for example, if you wanted to get into coin magic, you would know to go to Bobo's Coin Magic from those books. Or perhaps if you were interested in, say, mentalism, you might go to a certain book of steps that I can't mention. But there you would find that information in the magic books that I referenced there. So those are good starter points. For the wisdom, you have to figure out what wisdom you want to memorize, but it all starts with your ability to think. And so the ability to think comes from Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. They'll teach you what's called the dialectic. And that's really great. Archetypical stories. Try to read stories that were written before 1959 and are stories that are still being told to this day. They're usually called the classics. You do have to be careful with this though, because classics are being manipulated and changed every day. There's an active campaign to destroy the legacy of the classics and to hide this wisdom from people. And so you do need to do your research on these. I can get you some starting ground right here, though. The Divine Comedy by Dante. The traditional Greek gods all have really, really great lore behind them. Grimm's fairy tales, Aesop's fables. Let's see, what do we got here? Obviously, Art of War, The Prince, King Arthur's Tales. Those would be probably good starts for you. So just getting those archetypical classic stories and trying to get books written before 1959. I'm working on solving that problem right now. So there is an active censorship going on with good classic literature. So I'm creating what's called the Wizard Library, which will give you guys access to all of the public domain books in audiobook and PDF format where available. Sometimes you can't get one or the other. I'm at about 80 hours put into that project yet, and it's about halfway done. So it will take a while to get done. But once it's up, you guys will basically just be able to open your phone and have 54 classic books in your pocket that you can read anytime and download and listen to and things like that. So that would be my recommendations for books. Oh no, what's going on? Okay. Well, okay. So, yes. Sorry. Serious. So I'm going to pretend to be serious here for a little bit. Here we go. Right. hand. It's so hard to do with a straight face. On today's chapter of Left Hands Matter, left-handedness is a part of me. It's not really oppression, though. I know other minority groups don't see me as the same. But you know what? Neither do the right oppressors. So where are us lefties supposed to go? Other than each other. We have to hide it away so we don't get hurt. But not anymore. I won't be a victim of a system that oppresses us left-handed people. This thing is bigger than us. We need to grab our allies and we have to fight. Handism is not a debate. We need to force re-education on those who disagree with us. Learn from your ancestors' mistakes so we can never let this happen again to other left-handed men. Left hands matter. On today's Left-Handed History, we are looking into the one, the only, President Ford. Dun 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 dun. So, this is Mr. President Ford here, President of the United States, no big deal. It's just, most powerful position in the entire world, no biggie. However, he's not only just the president, because of his left hand, he actually was the only president who became president without ever being elected. He was never elected, and yet he became president, and it was exclusively due to his left hand. In fact, he wasn't even elected as vice president. Nixon chose him out on his own, brought him into his vice presidency. Nixon then was impeached, and Ford became president. So he was president without anyone having ever elected him, and it's all because of his left hand. Now, you might be telling yourself, well, Tyler, all right, this guy's the president of the United States. Probably a big major nerd, right? Well, let me tell you. He was also an expert in law at Yale. So you're like, okay, super big nerd. No, it turns out he was a football star, too. So this dude was a jock. He was expert in law at Yale. And, just in his free time, he was just busy, fighting in World War II, joining the Navy. And, therefore is kind of sort of directly responsible for beating the Germans, Japan, and Italy. No biggie. No biggie. During his time in war, in fact, he actually encountered a major typhoon. It almost killed him. However, all he did was he stood up and then punched with his left hand at the typhoon and destroyed it. In fact, that is a picture of it right here. That hole in the typhoon is from him punching through it. So he was able to destroy it with a single punch of his left hand, of course. Now, after he went through his whole process of Nixon picks him out to be his vice president, Nixon then gets impeached for the whole thing that people call Watergate. This was like the fake scandals they're making up now for the president, but back in the day. And so Nixon basically got impeached, and then what our friend Mr. Ford here did was like, you did also pick me and make me president, so you're good to go. Pardons Richard Nixon, so he's no longer able to be persecuted for his crimes. So total legend there, having his bros back like all left-handed people do. Now, at this point, people start losing their mind. They start spreading smear campaigns on him because of his left-handedness. They say he's so clumsy. Oh, he's so clumsy. He can't use scissors. Oh, look at him. He's hitting his head on stuff because he's left-handed. What a clumsy person. Just mocking him in his left hand, which is what the weak oppressors on the right always do. They always attack us lefties here with our superiority. In fact, it got so bad that there was 2 people who tried to assassinate him because he was left-handed. And obviously they failed because, he's left-handed. He just blocked the bullet. It was very interesting. One of them shot and missed by a few feet because he just slapped the bullet out of the way with his left hand. And then the other one, they just failed because they looked at him and they saw him go to reach for his gun with his left hand, and they were so terrified by the thought of a man with his left hand that they just dropped their guns and ran. So those are historical things that I believe are true. Right oppressors have been telling me it's not true, but I believe I believe they're true. Now, not only did he survive 2 assassination attempts, he was also the first weeb ever. He was the first weeb president. He went to Japan, and this is after World War II, so we had bombed them, and, they weren't the happiest people with us because, we kind of deleted 2 of their cities. Justifiably so, though, because, you guys started it, okay? You guys started it. But that being said, he built the bridges where no one else would, and he became the essential real version of All Might. So came over there, became a weeb. And of course, as always, as we've been seeing with these left-handed people of history, they're all immortal. He lived to be 93 years old before the right-handed people assassinated him in secret. Now, that's not allowed to be talked about. That's a secret history. Only the left-handed people keep the secret history, but left-handed people actually don't die. We only get assassinated, or we in some cases can die in horrifying accidents, like when we're stopping black holes with our minds and stuff like that. But in general, we just don't die of aging. It's kind of like elven immortality. So lived to 93 years old. And that is today's left-handed history lesson for President Ford. Legend indeed. And now we're going to move on to the paranormal paracosm. Da-da-da-dum. Bye, Trenton. Thanks for joining. See you later, Trenton. See y'all tomorrow. Same place, same time, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Coast time. Boom. What do we got here? I'm right-handed, but I support left hands better. Yeah, singing H. Bear. She gets it. She gets it. She gets it. Singing H. Bear is a legend. I have to deal with this right oppression every day. Every day. I'm held down. All right, today's paranormal paracosm. A ghost is feeling a little cold. So apparently there is a ghost version of Alexandria that exists. Let me show you. This is actual footage of Alexandria O'Peavy's as a ghost.
It better not be a face swap.
Would you like to say that out loud so people start bugging you for them? All right. So this is Alexandria O'Peavy's as a ghost.
I can't keep my eyes on it. I gotta watch the rain. Are you doing something?
No.
Do you see that? It's freaking weird, right?
Just recorded. That's just done it again.
Right. He won't do it while I'm watching.
He won't do it while he's watching. You know, it'd be a really great way for her to mess with him is just, oh, it doesn't work when you're watching, and she's just the one turning it. she's just turning it every time he looks away. But no, I mean, clearly it's not.
You turning it?
No, I'm doing nothing. You can watch the
And I don't know if you've ever been in a time period in your life where you had a car like this, but that knob thing, man, that does not turn easy. Those things are like, they're you got to put a little force. It's not like something you're just blowing with a fan and it's going to move. Like, you got to give it a clunk. And those things are pretty tough to move.
film afterwards. I am doing.
They usually, like, lock into place.
No. So I'm going to do it now.
Your window down a bit because I get really hot because it's going red hot.
I think he just said maybe the ghost is a little cold because he's trying to make it go red hot.
It's going to work. It's not going to do it.
Oh,
No,
my
it
gosh.
didn't even go full way that time.
Isn't that crazy? So apparently the ghost is a little chilly in the car and is trying to turn up the heat. Very, very weird stuff going on there. How's it give all the same spirits and I don't see anything? All right, that's cool, Trenton. Well, maybe the spirits that you've consumed have blocked your ability to see the spirits. Perhaps. That is a side effect of consuming spirits. There's a theory that people call spirits because when you drank spirits, it would block out your connection to other spirits, and so people would drink them to hide the effects, and they think that that's why schizophrenia is actually linked to alcoholism. All right, so the next subject we have up is fantastic cryptids and where to find them. Tonight, we're looking at giant snakes. Whew, let me tell you, this is a wild party. It's getting really late for me. No problem at all. Singing H. Bear, if you got to go to bed, feel free. Sign on off. And we'll see you again tomorrow, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Coast time here on YouTube. All right, so the giant snakes, these guys are intense. So the giant snake is supposedly 50 to 150 feet long, as recordings of the snake are. Some of them are supposedly reaching up to thousands of pounds. And what makes this story very interesting to me is that giant anacondas were believed to be fictional by science for 100 years. So people had visited the Amazons and they would tell them of this giant snake, this 20-foot snake that could kill people, and it would squeeze them to death. And they didn't believe them for over 100 years. And then eventually they discovered the anaconda and found out it was real. And that is where these snakes are native to, which is the Amazon, which is very much unexplored. So the potential for giant anacondas to exist. Now keep in mind, the anaconda reaches at about 20 feet, about 500 pounds. These ones are supposedly 50 feet or more. And so the idea here is they might not even be a new species. It would just be a much larger version of an anaconda that had access to bigger food supplies. And so that's kind of the theory that we got going on here. So these are some photos of what it would look like. Now we're going to look into the video evidence to support the case over on YouTube. People who claim to have caught these giant snakes over in the Amazon. So the first one here is very interesting. This is a credible source of a guy who was investigating the area and saw one of these giant snakes from his airplane and snapped a photo of it. So this is a Colonel Remy, and he's an expert in the field as well. So this wasn't like just, some, I mistook a log. No, he's got some pretty solid evidence to support it.
The hole where the snake was in, able to let the man take a picture of it. And I made certainly between 4 and 6 spots.
And so that's his picture he's got of it.
Right over the hole where the snake was in. By then I was already flying for 25 years, so I have a very good experience of measuring things. And I would say the snake I saw there was close to 50 foot.
Close to 50 feet is the snake.
Feet. I don't know, you say 50 foot or 50 feet, but very close to certainly. And it was moving inside the hole.
And he's been, like you said, he's been flying for 25 years, sizing things up. So and if you're flying in a helicopter or an airplane for that matter, specific helicopter is even more intense, but your ability to judge sizes of things is crucial to your job, because you need to know, like, how long is that runway approximately? Can I make that landing? Can I land my helicopter on that pad? Is it big enough? Can I get it on there? So you have to be able to make these judgment calls.
And looking very dark green, the green brown, with his belly wide. Now when I came down on that snake in his hole, and I would say at the
That's
bottom,
crazy.
25, 30 foot up, the snake raised up by about, I would say, 10 foot.
Wow.
And I could very
Could you imagine an anaconda coming up like that?
Woo! I could not make a better comparison as with a very large horse, with big, very, very big jaws, looking triangular.
Wow, the head is the size of a horse.
And you're just standing up like there to me, and I feel and I'm convinced if I had been in its range, it would have struck at me, it would have been striking me.
Wow.
And yet, I would say it was certainly at least on the very 2 foot wide and 3 foot long. It could have easily eaten up a man.
This is one of those rare cases where we have an expert witness and an excellent photograph.
Wow. It's pretty crazy, right? So that's our first piece of evidence, is this guy's sighting here. Very credible guy. Doesn't seem like he'd have any reason to lie about this kind of thing, And, especially when you're someone of this high credibility, high stature, you don't want to be the guy who's like, no, but I saw a real UFO, guys. Like, you don't want that on your reputation, especially when, you know, you've got a lot of prestige around you. You don't want to be labeled the crazy guy, you know? And so I really that lends some credibility to me, because I know of a lot of people who are in situations like that where they experience bizarre paranormal things and they just don't tell anyone about it. They keep it under wraps and maybe will tell a really close friend, but and it's like, please don't tell anyone, that kind of thing, because they just don't want the reputational damage that comes along with saying something like that. And so the fact that he's able to just come out there and confidently say that, really, I find very compelling. So the next one here is apparently footage of a giant snake found in the Amazon in 2016. They're on top of the snake. So the snake is currently under their boat, lifting their boat and moving them away. So he thinks the snake's over here. No, that's just part of it. Oh my gosh. Look how thick that thing is. Wow. Oh my word. That's just part of his belly too. We don't see his tail or his head. Wow. That's starting on one end of the river. He's already halfway through the river. So that's already, we only see half his body, and that's already 25 feet. Oh my gosh, you can see it ripple a little bit further. He's like more than halfway through the river. Look at that. You can see the you can't see me pointing at the screen. My apologies. Where's my mouse? You can see his outline of his body here. We can see his tail over here. He's almost the length of the river. That's at least 35 or 40 feet. Oh my word. Don't poke it with a stick. Oh my word. Jeez. These guys are crazy. They're madmen. Look how fast he is, too. Dude, what do you think? He just wants to see I bet he wants to just see the end. He probably has to know, you know? I can see it. There's his tail. Alright, so he's got his tail. Wow. Absolutely insane. Oh, he's gonna pull it with the boat to stretch out how long it is? Is that the idea? Oh my word. Let it go, bro. Don't. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at that head. Wow. So those things exist. That's a real thing. Get out of there. Jeez, man. I could easily kill a person and eat a person. Alright, so that's our 2016 footage of these giant snakes. Did you know actually long snakes are actually pretty nice until you make them angry? Yeah, or until they get hungry. Alright. Let's take a look at this. Is our next footage that we got here, which is this is a huge snake that was seen swimming in the Amazon River. And this is really cool. This is a person with a phone that lives in the Amazon, and they record just stuff that happens in their village. Look at that thing. That's easily 40, no, that's got to be over 50 feet long. It was from one end of the river to the other when it was fully stretched out. Look at that. Oh my word. This is bigger than the last snake that we were just looking at. Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is just in their village. This is just something they deal with. Can you imagine how frustrating it must be? You deal with this every day, day in, day out, and then just some stupid, dirty scientist comes in on their little airplane and they're like, "You're a liar. That's not true. That's not real. I don't believe you. You're lying." Could you imagine how frustrating that? No wonder they just lie to people now. When this is a hilarious thing that people don't know about. Villagers have taken to the practice of just blatantly lying to scientists because they think it's funny, because these arrogant little losers come in and they're like, "I don't believe it. Snakes can only be 20 feet long, okay? Our books say so." And they're like, "Oh, well, what we actually have is snake who can fly and breathe fire." And they're like, "See, we knew it was fake." And they're like, "Ah, those morons listen to us." Yeah, no, there really are giant snakes, though. They're like gonna kill you. We hope that it kills you. It's pretty funny. Oh my, that's his head. That's his head. I didn't know they took it out of the water. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that thing. They have it tied up with a chain. I mean, how is that different from a real dragon? Look at that. Oh my word. Absolutely incredible. And that is the third piece of evidence we have for giant snakes, guys. So, yeah, it's pretty insane. So I think in terms of, are giant snakes real? It seems like pretty much confirmed on my part. I'm going with 100% chance that there are giant snakes that exist that are 50 feet or more. I cannot see a realm existing where that snake that we just saw isn't at least 50 feet. And, you know, imagine how much is still unexplored in the Amazon. You're probably not seeing the biggest ones, you know. There's always a big boy, you know. You know, it's like the average size for a great white might be 15 feet, but they've found ones that are a lot bigger than that, you know, that kind of thing. Do you believe that giants and dragons were a real thing? Aiden, we actually did a show, a cryptid episode on both of those. We did a cryptids episode on giants, and we did a cryptid episode on dragons. I am 100% convinced of giants. Giants for sure are real and still exist. And not only do they exist, we've actually interviewed them. Like, literally just walked up and we're like, "Hi, so you're the tallest person who ever lived?" And they're like, "Yes, I am the biggest person who ever lived." And you're like, "Oh, okay. So I guess they're real." So that one's just a big propaganda campaign. Giants, 100% confirmed. They just stopped calling them giants. The second one, dragons, is interesting. So there's a lot of evidence to support the existence of dragons because they're referenced in a lot of different cultures, but there isn't that much evidence from the visual aspect. So there's a few videos we found, but they didn't feel that real. That being said, it seems like dragons were already a pretty rare thing, and to be able to fly, you would have to have very thin bones. So I'm thinking they probably would decompose pretty quickly in the same way that like chickens decompose pretty quickly. But we're not sure. So with the dragons, I'm at about a 75% leaning towards yes, dragons real. Giants, 100% real. And giant snakes, I'm going with 95%. 95%. I'll give a 5% chance that maybe the villagers just made a fake snake to spook us all. That could be, maybe, just, you know, to get some publicity. But that seemed pretty legit. It seemed really, based on all three of those pieces together, it seems pretty legit to me. And with that, we're going to move on to the next paranormal paracosm. A ghost is apparently haunting a YouTuber. So there's a YouTuber who is dealing with some paranormal experiences at his home. So he moved to a new home, but it seems as though the ghost has followed him to his new home. So that is what we're going to be taking a look at here. Very interesting little spooky video. Let's take a look. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt. This man is a YouTuber, so, you know, he's got to factor in there's a big incentive for him to make it seem spookier than it is. So just, you know, take that into consideration.
Alright, so I don't know if you saw my video about weird things happening in my apartment, but I've since moved into a house, and nothing really weird had happened until just now.
There is one more segment.
I was
singing H-Bear
in my dining room, and the overhead lamp was moving and eating.
Alright, so we're going to skip to the footage. So he's just telling you the backstory. Boom. Alright, well, that went quick. So he's just giving you the backstory of what he was experiencing. So this is the paranormal stuff he's seeing.
This happened.
I bet you he's on keto. He's got a bottle of ranch just sitting out there. Does he?
Yeah,
Wow.
So I ran upstairs.
He's like, all right, so I'm just running back. So guys, I'm being haunted downstairs by what is apparently a poltergeist. Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's see, does he like, comment, and subscribe us?
That's the stairway right there, leading downstairs, and I'm kind of creeped out right now.
You're kind of creeped out right now. I would be a lot more creeped out right now if I were you.
So I'm gonna keep recording just in case anything crazy happens. And I'm gonna continue after today. If nothing happens today, I'm gonna keep recording because apparently what was happening in my apartment is happening here. So I don't know. Stay tuned.
Oh, all right. You know what? I'm gonna give him a credit. He didn't say like, comment, and share at the end, and subscribe. So maybe this is genuine. Maybe this is genuine. I'm gonna go with maybe genuine because, you know, if it wasn't, if he had said liked, comment, and share, now I'm starting to think like this seems a little promo-y. Like when I say it, I'm saying that because I want you guys to get the message out to your friends and let people know. Why are you trying to get the message out to just the broad public if this is what you're dealing with, you know? So that's what I'm thinking here. So that is our YouTuber who's being harassed. If you want to check out his channel, it's Core Sun. You can give him a subscribe right here. I'm going to go ahead and click subscribe, and we're going to give this guy the thumbs up right here. Let's see if he's got any other scary stuff. Crazy video, man. Loved watching it. Let me know if you have any updates. The Wizard. Oh, all right. Give him a comment there. Feel free to go over and give this guy a sub, and if you're so inclined. And we're going to move on to the final segment of the show. Practical philosophy. Today's practical philosophy, we're going to be teaching you about the attention bias. And this is the first time you'll be seeing a quote from the Wizard, myself, which is, what you pay attention to becomes what's most important to you. Now, this is what is called the cognitive bias. So a cognitive bias is essentially it's a faster way of processing data that your brain has developed that it does out of habit. So the attentional bias is the fact that if I show you something frequently enough, you start to think that that thing is important and a bigger problem than it really is, simply because you've seen it a lot of times. So if every day I send you a text message like, Did you hear about the pineapple poisoning? Oh, did you guys hear pineapples have a disease on them? Oh, yeah, pineapples are getting recalled, guys. Wow, did you hear a bunch of people died from eating poisoned pineapples? And I just do that to you every day for like a month. By the end of that month, you're going to think pineapples are really dangerous. Not because they actually are dangerous. Not because they have killed a lot of people. Not because they're a real problem. But simply because I told you it so many times that you now think it's a really big problem because you've seen it happen a lot on your news feed because I'm messaging you. So that's a form of mind control. And so that's why here at Ask a Wizard, we're always telling you, stay away from the flashing boxes. They call what they're doing programming for a reason. They are trying to program your mind. You may have heard the phrase TV programming, radio programming. Well, they're doing the same stuff with social media as well, guys. And they are not showing you an accurate reflection of reality. What they're showing you is things that are very small problems that are not held by the majority of the public, and they're showing them to you over and over and over again to try and control your behavior. What you watch is what you will think is most important. So, this is used against you all the time in virtually every single social cause, every single political topic. Almost every single one of these things is nearly completely irrelevant and has no impact on your life, and your support or being against has no impact on them as well. They're essentially irrelevant. What you see on these flashing boxes are lies, and they're doing it to try and control your behavior. So, what do you do given this situation? Start taking control of what you consume. Part of what I do here at Ask a Wizard, we put out a podcast, we put out a live stream, we do a magic show on TikTok, we put out TikTok videos, we put out Instagram posts, we put out Facebook posts. The reason we do that is to give you an alternative to go away from these channels that are trying to control your mind and instead give you information that encourages you to explore new ideas, philosophy, mystery, entertainment, fun, community, and building and growing and creating great things. And then we also direct you towards other YouTubers doing similar things so that you can start to replace these boxes that are telling you things to make you vote for someone or to make you hate yourself or to make you feel like crap so they can sell you a product, and move you towards people who are showing you how to build, grow, and create the beautiful, the good, and the true. And every time you can cut one of these poison, toxic pipelines of trash out of your brain, you can then replace it with something that's really good, really fulfilling, and really valuable. And you'll start to literally see your entire world transform because of the attentional bias. By simply cutting out the crap and replacing it with good things, your mind will be realizing all the good things happening in the world and ignore some of this nonsense. A great example is you see people constantly, we would just address this on TikTok, and we won't go deep into it because we don't do politics on the show, but a lot of people have been DMing me because they're concerned about the current things happening with the election. Meanwhile, if you had a real news organization, a real company that was trying to inform the public, what everyone would be talking about is the fact that, did you hear that there's a breakthrough in nuclear technology that is basically just solved all of our energy problems? We don't have an energy problem anymore. The world solved it. It's done. No one's talking about that. Did you guys know it's, I think you call it 4th generation nuclear power. It is a nuclear power that produces less waste than windmills and solar, and has no ability to be weaponized, and is capable of like powering entire cities for a fraction of the cost. So our energy problems have just been solved, but what you've been hearing about is race and politics for the last 3 years, not the fact that our energy problems have been solved by some dude that invented a nuclear power plant. Why? Why is that the case? How come you haven't heard about the fact that there has been a recent trial, like actual administered trial, not a hypothetical study, but an administered dosage of an extract from a specific type of mushroom that has cured PTSD in soldiers with an 85% success rate? You didn't hear about that in the news. You know why? Because they don't want you to know the things that are great in this world. They don't want you to know the good, the beautiful, and the true. They want you to be scared, afraid, and hate your neighbor. They want you to invert the commandments. They want you to hate God. They want you to hate your neighbor. They want you to want to steal from those who have more from you. And they don't want the best for you. So cut that crap out of your life and start filling your mind with good, the beautiful, and the true. And that is my recommendation for you guys today on Practical Philosophy. I hope it helps you out, and we're going to move on to the next round of readings. Boom. Is there a way you can tell one's future? Other than just the, what have you done in the past? What are you doing in the present? From there, I can extrapolate what's likely to happen in your future unless you make a change. But you can't predict the future because, like, think about it like this, Aiden. If I came to you, Aiden, and I said, Aiden, tomorrow at 3:33 p.m. exactly, an angry walrus will come and nibble on your toes at school or at work. Then you could just not go to work, and then you just change the future. And then the walrus doesn't come and he doesn't nibble your toes. So, like, you are in 100% control of your future. You can control those things. So knowing what, no one can go and say, like, this is what will happen to you. You actually have control over it. So it's important to know. Let's see. Nice. I need healing. Well, Jeremy, great place to start is cutting out the crap from your head, fix your sleep cycle, fix your diet, fix your exercise, and start working on something that you can see improvement on in the long run, a new skill. And if you do those things, they usually fix most of your problems, believe it or not. It's a pretty effective strategy. And it's a lot to handle, too, so it gives you a lot to work on right now. Who's up first?
Okay. We have Singing H-Bear, Brooke, and then Giovanni.
Singing H-Bear is up, and then we got Brooke. All right, Singing H-Bear. Are you here, Singing H-Bear? Can you make a noise for me? It's time for your reading. Perhaps a song of sorts. Or, in Singing H-Bear's case, a billion emojis.
Yes.
O'Peavy's has been utilizing her knowledge that she's acquired from Singing H-Bear in her video game playing. She's been dropping quite a lot of emojis lately.
Indeed.
What kind of injury are we talking about here? I'm not sure. Not sure. Let's see, Aiden. What is this segment? I have never been here before. Oh, Aiden. So this is the wizard reading. So people can pay paypal.me/askawizard whatever they think a reading is worth, and then they will get a 3-card reading. Also, people can like and share the stream, and that will get them a 1-card reading for free. And then also people send in letters at P.O. Box 8881, Missoula, Montana 59807, and we read those live on air. You can send money through the mail there as well. It's greatly appreciated, but it's not required. You could just send a letter for us to read on air, or anything that you'd like to send. For example, someone sent us a Gerber knife, which I still don't know who sent it, but it's awesome. Check it out. I got it right here. It's got our logo on it. So cool. It's got a Hegel quote, and it was made in the USA. Really awesome stuff. But if you know who you are, let us know so we can find out who sent this. It's really great. Seeing H-Bear and Brooke, did you guys make it? Oh, were they the ones that said they had to leave early?
They were the ones saying they were tired but trying to get
to Okay, all right. Well, Singing H-Bear. Well, let's. Giovanni is Giovanni still here? Let's see. Brooke, Singing H-Bear, and Giovanni. Are you here? Let us know in the comments below. Can you make noises for us?
Giovanni is the one that needs healing.
Oh, Giovanni needs healing. All right, Giovanni. What are you looking for insights on? Dope enough. It is really cool. Really cool. Thank you for sending it.
Whoever sent
it. All right, let's get Giovanni's reading started. If Singing H-Bear comes back, let her know what's up, and then we'll get their readings after. All right, Giovanni. Anything in particular you're looking for insights on, Giovanni? I know you mentioned needing healing. Is there? Were you talking about health-wise? Because I'm not. Just so you know, I'm not a psychic. I don't do healings or anything like that. If you're having any health issues, I recommend seeing a doctor. If it's a spiritual pain, I recommend going to your leader of your church. If you don't have a church, I think that's probably your first mistake. So start there, finding one. I'm here, chakras. Okay, well, I'm not too familiar with them outside of Naruto, but I can definitely, but I think I know what you're talking about here. So let's take a look at what we got going on. All right. So what we see here is the 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands is about the completion of a spiritual chapter in your life. And as you can see here, this guy lifting his bundle of wands, the wands representing your spiritual principles and development. You can see he's struggling really hard, but he's kept them together. And so what this card means is the completion of a spiritual chapter. So you've put in the hard work, you stuck to your principles, you've stuck to your spiritual development, and you've been going through some really tough times with it. So this has been a hard journey. A lot of times when you go on a journey like this, people they can get angry at you because you stick to your principles. They can be upset that you follow rules and think you're better than them. That's a common issue that you see people run into a lot. But as you continue to stick with the truth, stick with what is good and what is virtuous, you will get to this point here where you're at now, the 10 of Wands. A difficult journey, but the completion of that journey. And then at the completion of that journey, you start to feel the fruits of your labor. So that's when the Jack of Wands kicks in, and then the Queen of Wands phase, which is almost as irritating. So the Jack of Wands is when you finally are put in a position where all this spiritual training and practice and principles are put into action, and you use them and it works and it's a great time. And then the Queen of Wands comes in, and Queen of Wands is like, you need to be patient with your spiritual discipline. You need to wait. You're still not there. And so that's the hardest part, is when you finally are there, but you're not there. And you go through that patience period and attain true mastery. And that's the transformation experience. In the hero's journey, that's called the road home. You think it's over, but you actually have a more difficult obstacle to overcome, and when you overcome that, then you bring the gold back to the people, basically. So it looks like you're at the tail end of the hard part and the beginning of the interesting part, where it seems like where all the pieces come together, kind of thing. All right. Sweet. I hope that helps you out and gave you some insights there, Giovanni. Let me know in the comments below if that helped you out. And Singing H Bear is here, so let's get her reading. Singing H Bear, it's time for your reading. I almost passed out. Oh no. It's like a Jason Bourne. I can run 3 miles before my hands start to shake and I pass out. Trenton says, let them know. Let them know. Yes. We I need to be a wizard. No, you don't need to be a wizard. Being a wizard is a pretty bad niche to get in if you aren't 100% called to it, and like every single time you stop doing it, you just get sad and depressed. Like that's the only time you should be a comedian or a wizard, because there's so many better ways to change and improve the world. You got to figure out what you're passionate about, what you love, what makes you excited, what is the kind of thing you'll stay up till 5 a.m. doing because you think it's gonna fix the world. That's the stuff that I would recommend putting your energy into, and it's hard. It's something you really kind of are called to. Let's see. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that it helped. Singing H Bear. Sorry, did you guys do mine, Brooks? No, we're doing yours right now. Singing H Bear. Is there anything in particular you're looking for insights on? Is this them at the same time or 2 different people? How's this working?
It's Singing H Bear and then Brooks.
Okay, cool.
Together.
Oh, they're on the same account though?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So let's do Singing H Bear. Let's get her reading going right now. Singing H Bear. Awesome. All right. Ooh, look at that. A great card popping up here. So this is the Chariot. So the Chariot is a fantastic major arcana. This is the kind of card you like seeing popping up for yourself. So what this card represents is the kind of person who sat down, who has got a plan in place. They have calculated ideas. They have thought about the pros. They have thought about the cons. They have considered their plan from a tactical perspective. The philosopher that comes to my mind with this is the Prince, Machiavelli, for example. He's the guy who wrote The Prince. That doesn't make any sense for me to say, for example. Machiavelli where you have a tactical plan, strategy in play, and you have considered all of your weaknesses and your strengths, and it's time to go out there and start applying, taking action. The path is clear. You've got a plan in play. Let's go and take action on it. So that's what we see popping up here for you, is a great sign. Good to see that you're playing it. Now, keep in mind, good expression. Always remember, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. So, or as I think Sun Tzu put it, no strategy survives no strategy is executed without the enemy's input, I think is what he says. But more or less what it's saying is having a plan doesn't mean everything's going to work out perfectly, or that the plan is even going to work. But having a plan in place is you still have to have a plan. So take action and then adjust accordingly. Be ready to make updates on the fly. That's the difference between tactics and strategy. So strategy is you want to set yourself up for, dependent on these outcomes of my tactics, which one statistically makes me the most likely to win strategy-wise. And so that's the big difference here. So make sure you get strategy and then tactics throughout each of those to end on that strategy. So that is what I have for you, Singing H. Bear. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights. And look forward to seeing you take action on your plans and see how it turns out for you. OPB says retracted her message. She's now a part of the CIA. She's clearly in on this. She is watching me. I knew it all along. You are my CIA sitter. Frankly, I have nothing to hide. So ha 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 ha. What now, fool?
That was an accident.
All right. So who's up next? It's Brooke, right? Brooke, are you here, Brooke? Can you make a noise for me? It's time for your reading. Let's see. I forgot what I was going to say. Bye. Have a nice day, everybody. I'm not living, by the way. Well. Start trying to live.
Sorry?
What? Are you claiming to be a ghost? I'm not sure. What? If you are, very good. Very impressive poltergeist activity, sir. Have a good night, Trenton. I'll see you in another stream. All right, Sing H. Bear says that was useful. Thanks. Awesome. Glad to hear that. And let's get Brooke's card going here. Wow, check that out. That's crazy. This is literally the card that you want right before you do a chariot. So when you take action, the chariot's all about the plan is in play. It's time to take action. What you have popping up here is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is another major arcana. And this is about the initial strategy phase. So that's really crazy. This actually leads exactly into what I was just saying about the chariot, but expands upon it. And so what this is saying is that the High Priestess is saying when you plan your strategy, that strategy that you would take action on in the chariot, rather than coming up with a strategy that's based on what you think is pragmatic or is emotionally making you feel the best, or even what you think is logically the best, instead found your strategy on your principles, then weighed the pros and cons of your strategy. So what do you hold dear? What do you think is true? What are your virtues? What do you hold sacred? What are you trying to be in life? What are the eternal things you want to be remembered for? And then from there, base your pros and cons. And that's going to set you up for a way bigger success than if you try and take any of the other approaches. So that's what the High Priestess is a call to action to do, is when you found your plan, found it on what you believe and know is true. For example, I'm a Christian, so I would base it on the Bible, for example. And so that is the recommendation I have there for you, Brooke. I hope that helps you out. I hope that gives you some insights. And with that, do we have anyone else? Nope, that's the last reading. Awesome. All right, we're going to go ahead and close up the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. We're going to go ahead and close up. We'll be live again tomorrow, same place, same time, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Coast time here on YouTube, and TikTok at 7:20 p.m. for a magic show. And we are working on some pretty cool stuff. If you have an owl name and you want to be part of a program which might possibly make you, in theory, potentially, a lot of caveats, but you might be able to make a little extra cash, then send us a DM on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok DM. Let us know your owl name, and we'll let you know what we're working on, and might be able to get you set up there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you all later. And if you want beta access to the Discord, we are setting up a Discord to set up basically our own social network for owls only. DM me as well, and we can get you that link. It is in beta. There's nothing there yet. We're just building it out, but if you want to get early access, that's the place to be. All right, so I will talk to you guys all later. Have a good evening. Peace. Oh, Trenton. Dang it, I didn't answer Trenton's question. Well, Trenton, as my mic is still on, what got me into wizardry? Well, I been doing it since I was 8 years old. Just kind of was called to it. That's about it. That's how it worked. All right. I'm going to turn off my mic now.